Okay, good afternoon to all the participants. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, once again, good afternoon to all the participants. Greetings from St. Xavier's Catholic College of Engineering, Nagarkot, for the one-week faculty development program on cyber security from 22/6/2020 to 27/6/2020 from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., which is jointly organized by the Department of Information Technology and the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. In this afternoon, I am happy to welcome you all for this program. I like to remain few instructions to the participants. Please mute your mic to avoid the disturbances during the faculty development program. Also, I request you to switch off your camera to reduce the internet data usage. After the talk of the guest speaker, you can ask your queries by two ways. You can type your questions in the chat window and the speaker will be addressing the queries. Or you can make hand raise and ask your queries. Now I like to give an introduction about today's session. Yesterday, we discussed about the introduction of cybersecurity and ethical hacking, why cybersecurity is needed, future in cybersecurity, types of hackers, malware family, and ransomware attacks. Today, we are planning to discuss about social engineering. What is social engineering? Type of social engineering attacks, phishing, type of phishing, IDN homograph attack, Gmail demonstration, advanced phishing in domain spoofing. Now I like to introduce today's guest speaker. Today's guest speaker is Ms. Shifa. She is a software development trainer and public speaker, also an entrepreneur. She is a web and mobile application developer with a thorough experience in security field. She has experience of 5 years in software development and security training with special interest in artificial intelligence, logical programming, and virtual reality. She had worked with various international schools. She has trained more than 1,000 students in the field of logical programming and application development and worked with Mr. Sandeep Bahi, ex-CEO of Apple India, and dealt with various confidential organizations and projects. She has attended many conferences across India. On saying about the achievements in training, she conducted a session at Dhirubhai Ambani International School, Mumbai, trained more than 1,000 individuals in software development and cyber security, conducted more than 50 workshops throughout India, she acted as an invited speaker at Rohidas Management Studies, Mumbai, invited as key speaker at German School, Mumbai, invited as key speaker at Gujarat Technology University, trained various professionals on cyber awareness across Mumbai, trained thousands of students on using MIT app inventor made by MIT USA, trained more than 1,000 entrepreneurs to secure their startups. With this brief introduction, I invite Ms. Shifa to start her presentation. Welcome, Ms. Shifa.
Thank you so much for the introduction. So as you already have said, thank you so much for the greetings. And on behalf of my team, I would like to thank St. Xavier's College for inviting us and making this week possible for the cybersecurity introduction. So yesterday we have seen what all are the importance of cybersecurity. How can you safeguard yourself? So we'll go a little more deep into this field and we'll continue with where the Rohit session stopped. So today's topic is social engineering. I will be covering about different types of social engineering. What are what is phishing, what are the different types of phishing, how you can safeguard yourself from phishing, as well as we'll see add on like what all are the social engineering attacks that happened during COVID-19. As we all are sitting home, we are all in the lockdown, and we are more using internet these days. So we'll see what all are the scams that are happening all around, because as we know, like when we go out, the attacks such as kidnapping and different murder kind of things happens. But then when we are home, what all kind of attacks happen? How do they take out money from your accounts? How do they the scammers and the criminals behave and use social engineering in their life? And we'll also see how you can safeguard yourself in the field of social engineering. So I'll quickly share my presentation. Let me know just once it's visible. Okay. So according to me, it's visible and I am audible, right?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. You are
Okay.
audible as well as, yeah, presentation is also okay. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So I'll go ahead. So the topic for today is social engineering, the art of deception. So here is my introduction. I'll skip this because we already have spent few minutes on my introduction. So what is social engineering attack? So this is an attack in which no coding knowledge is required. You can say with zero coding knowledge, you can perform this attack, being an attacker. And then you do not need any hardcore interest in technology. You do not have to make your your applications, your things. So this code is 0% logical, 0% coding knowledge required kind of attack. So in this, the definition says it is a psychological manipulation of a person into performing some action to take out confidential information. So we'll see how and all it is performed. This image, according to me, says a lot. This means that a person or an attacker will try to behave someone you already know or you are looking for, but then in reality he is someone else, and his intentions are something else than what you are looking. So what are the root causes of social engineering? So the first root cause, according to me, is imposter phone calls. When some unknown persons call you and ask for your details, is the first root cause of this social engineering attack. The second cause is unsafe browsing. When we do not trust any website and we are surfing for example, let's say I want to hack someone, so I'll go online and I'll search for Facebook hacking tools or Instagram hacking tools. So most of the time these websites are not safe, and you can see only HTTP you are browsing through, and also it will ask you to click so many different links, and also it will redirect you to different places. So unsafe browsing is another root cause of social engineering attack. Third thing is oversharing on social networks. Sharing a lot of details and updates about yourself on internet is also can also be used to perform a full planned social engineering attack. We'll see how. So let's say I am a person and I like Facebook a lot. I keep posting about myself, what all I like, what all I dislike, where all I stay, what is my routine, and which kind of person I like. So this kind of oversharing of information on social media can also lead to some crimes. So oversharing is also share only the information which is required. Do not overshare or overspeak about yourself. So roughly around 156 million phishing emails are sent globally every day. What does this mean? So we'll see in further slide what are phishing emails and how do they attack you. So the first type of social engineering attack is shoulder surfing. So you can see very clearly from the picture here that a person is trying to sneak peek into the another person's computer while she is entering her confidential details, let's say password. So when someone is entering their confidential information and other person is trying to sneak peek into the computer to get those information. So this is known as shoulder surfing, and we have seen generally a lot of times that some people do have this habit, and this can be further used to perform some attacks. So how do you prevent yourself from this? This is very simple and very normal. Make sure while you are entering your confidential details that no one is around you, and you keep your monitor in such a position that no one can see your passwords or what all information you are typing. This is very important shoulder surfing when you are into the industry, and you have to make sure of a lot of things that no one is there when you are entering your credentials. Otherwise you might be the medium to perform those attacks, so you have to make sure of all that. And the other thing is dumpster diving. Dumpster diving is taking out confidential information from dumps. Most of the times what we do, some documents, let's say Aadhaar card, for now I have thousands of copy of it and I do not need some, so what I'll do is I'll just crush it and put it into my dustbin. But then what attackers do is they take up and then they take up this dry waste and dry paper dump, they read all that, and then this dump is been used for performing some cyber attacks and cyber crimes. We have seen a lot of fake bank accounts which are been opened using this kind of fake documents. So make sure when you throw your document or important information, make sure to shred it, burn it, do not just crush it and throw it. The next thing is impersonation. Impersonation is the kind of attack wherein someone pretend to be someone who they are not. They may dress as a delivery person, delivery pizza delivery guy. They may behave as a bank manager. They may try to become your employee to get your information. So it can also be done virtually using a phone call or an email. I am very sure so many of you or your family members would have got a call from bank manager saying that your account has been freezed. To defreeze this account, please share your OTP or your details, where all you stay, and so many details they ask for. So what is this actually known as? So this is impersonation, wherein a attacker will behave as a person from bank or something, and then he takes up your sensitive information. It can be done through email. I most of the time get email saying that you have won a lottery of rupees $5,000 or something, so to claim your reward kindly click on this link. So this kind of emails are now very general and people used to tend this, but then there are few people who are not aware about this kind of phishing and social engineering attacks, tend to fall for it. So we'll see some of the people who have fallen for it. Then we have phishing. Phishing is hiding your identity and making the user perform some action. So for the spelling of phishing is totally different here. This is not normal phishing which we do, but the way it is done is very similar. So this is the fraud, which is of deception. Will see the principle. An attacker induces an action by hiding the identity and behave as a original source. In this, the attacker will hide his identity and try to behave as a legitimate source. I guess Okay, so why phishing? Because we are human and we have one tendency, that is to get lured. Out of greed, what we do, we fall for this kind of attacks. Let's say there are two shops, A and B. A is not offering any discount, but B is offering me 50% discount on the same product. So most of the times we do not, if things look similar, what we do, we go for the shop B and shop. But then when we come home, we realize that this is the first copy of that brand or something else it is. Why this happens to us always? Because we get lured very easily. We see the discount amount is greater in shop B, so we should go for that. But not always discounted things or the things in sale are always useful. So there are different types of phishing. So how wishing, smishing, whaling, and spear fishing. Wishing is voice over phishing. Voice over phishing as in someone will call you and ask you for your details. As we saw the example previously, I said that some bank person will call you and ask you for your address, your OTP, your bank account, your some other details. So that comes under wishing, when someone tries to take out your information through voice. The second is smishing. Smishing is something wherein you get an SMS. I normally get from the game known as Rummy. There are person who are earning millions with Rummy. Kindly download it from here. So this is one message. The another message which I get of lottery ticket. You have won a 7 lakh rupees car. Kindly fill the registration form to claim this reward. Click on this link. So what is the technical name for this SMS? So the name is smishing, where you are being fished using an SMS. The third thing is whaling. Whaling, we know whale is a big fish. So in fishing, whaling means to target some people, some important people of any organization. Let's say St. Xavier's College. So we have different roles of people into this college. We have students, we have teachers, we have principal. So in whaling, most of the time attacker will try to hack the person who has more access, as in principal. So why do they do that? Because principal can access maximum number of information. He can access different teachers information. He can access about the students activity. So most of the time in whaling, the person who are being targeted have more number of access. A CEO, CTO, a CISO, CFO, this kind of important person of organization who have more number of access, who can go into the network, who have more confidential passwords are been targeted, so that you get can you can you please mute? Then we
Participants, please mute your audio. I request all the participants to mute your audio.
Thank you so much. Okay, so whaling is a type of fishing wherein important person of an organization are been targeted. Example, CEO, CFO, CISO, etc. So that to get maximum number of access, maximum number of password from their computer. If I'll hack a normal IT support person's computer, I may not get some sensitive information because he have very limited access. But wherein for the same organization, if I hack the CEO computer, I tend to get a lot of more juicy information from the computer. So this is how whaling is performed, wherein they target important personalities of organization who have more access. The last thing is spear phishing. Spear phishing is one-to-one phishing. Let's say I know the HOD ma'am likes to shop from Zara. Zara is a brand from where ma'am likes to shop a lot. So in this case, I know my target, that is HOD ma'am. So I know that she keeps on looking for Zara vouchers daily because she likes to shop a lot. So whenever I see her online, what she does is she always looks and search for Zara coupons, Zara vouchers, etc. so that to get maximum discount. This is how we do, right? So what I will do is, being an attacker, I'll create a scenario wherein I'll make a fake email saying this is Zara 50% voucher and I'll share this mail to HOD ma'am. So there are more than 90% chances that she'll click on my link because this is something which I am giving her, which she's already looking for. So thinking of something from a victim's perspective and then try to generate something which she already wants. So then the probability of getting the output is maximum in this case. So spear phishing is one-to-one phishing. I hope all the different types are clear. We'll take the doubts in the end. So how hard is to fish? phishing is not at all difficult. As I mentioned earlier, this is very simple attack which doesn't require any coding. So here it is very simple. You just have to put the thread and everyone will come automatically. So what is IDN homograph attack? The full form of IDN is internationalized domain names, wherein fake URL address from different alphabets are used. So we'll see a little deep in this. ASCII characters, Cyrillic, Greek and Latin American. Why these different alphabets have been used? So I'll just move to the next slide and I'll show you this on browser as well. So how do they do it? Initially, when phishing used to happen, so can anyone spot the difference between first and the second one? It's fine. Okay, I'll only say. So Microsoft.com. And here we see is rnicrosoft.com. These both are not at all equal because this is R and N. The combination looks something like M. So earlier in olden days, phishing used to happen with this kind of technique wherein an attacker used to buy this domain, which looks very similar to the original thing, and then used to host the same looking website on this rnicrosoft. The very similar website which Microsoft looks like, they'll copy the whole code and put it onto this website. So and then what all payments or anything you do to Microsoft will go to this fake rnicrosoft, and then this is how they used to earn. But then the people like me and you are now getting smarter. The first thing that we take care is the URL spelling. So now it is very easy to find out from the spell errors. So this is IDN homograph attack. I went onto the domain buying website namecheap.com and I searched for paypal.com. Imagine that I am an attacker and I want to create a website which looks very similar to paypal.com because I want to accept some PayPal payments. Because I am doing some fraud and I want to accept payments. But then when I went to the domain purchase website and I wrote for paypal.com, it said it's already taken. So after few minutes, I again tried and I got it available for $8. So we'll see how this is not any photoshopped image. I'll show you how does this attack happen. So first of all, I'll go to the domain buying website, that is Namecheap. You can go for any GoDaddy and there are so many. So Namecheap is something wherein you get domains in cheap price. And also in another tab, I'll write for IDN homograph attack. I am opening the Wikipedia page. Okay, let's search for the same thing. I am writing, I want a domain which is paypal.com because I am an attacker and I want to create something which looks similar to PayPal or which is PayPal. So it is obviously gonna say me that are you mad? It is already registered in 1999. How can they give me if a domain is already registered? So I want you guys to focus over here. How does this looks in URL? Because to the user whom I am going to attack, they are only gonna see this URL and the website design and everything. I'm gonna keep it very similar to real PayPal. So I am duplicating this slide. Now again, I go to search for domain. As it already said that PayPal is already taken. So now what to do? I want paypal.com. If I'll take PA1, so people will easily recognize and then they will understand that this is 1, this is not L. So what to do in this case? So in this case, IDN homograph happens wherein I know a character. The name of the character is Palochka over here in the Cyrillic alphabet. So I copy this and then I'll go here. I'll write I want a domain which is pay and then palochka.com. I want this domain. I don't want PayPal because that's already taken. So it agreed to give me this domain in 531 rupees a year. So in 531 rupees, I can spoof a lot of people by creating similar looking website. And then I can say the users that pay through this link to get maximum discount. Pay through this PayPal link to get 50% off. All your 10,000 payments can be done in 5,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees. So whatever amount they are paying through this link will be reflected into my account, I being an attacker. So this is how it happens. I told you to focus over here on the URL bar, paypal.com. So I am going over here. This is very similar. If I don't know about this attack, I might fall for it because this looks very, very similar. I cannot spot even a single difference between this. There is no difference if you see from our normal eyes. But in reality, how computer is considering it different, because the values, the hashes values of these characters are different for computers. It converts every alphabet into binary, and then when it converted into binary, so the Cyrillic character palochka is, its value is not at all equal to English alphabet L. Every time when you use these characters, you have to copy paste because we do not have the keyboard to type such characters. So every time when you have to use, so not only PayPal you can take some website which looks similar to, if you can use this H. So instead of Hacktify, you can use this Cyrillic H and then ACKTIFY. I hope I am not confusing. Let's try this. I have a website which is hacktify.in, which is my own website. I have taken this website. So this is taken and registered in 2019. So what if an attacker wants to create something which looks like Hacktify? So in this case, we will use this character, this Cyrillic character. I'll go here again. I'll search for a domain. Instead of H, this time I am going to paste the character I copied. In reality, it is Shah of Cyrillic alphabet. It agreed to give me this Hacktify.in in 759 rupees. So this way I can create a website which looks very similar to Hacktify.in in just 700 rupees. So all the fees payments or anything that I accept through Hacktify can be accepted through this. An attacker can send this link everywhere and say that Hacktify is offering discount, pay through this link to get the whole course in 90% discount or 80% discount. So this kind of things happens. But when you go to claim the real company, they are not gonna take your any claim because you yourself have fooled yourself by paying to the fake website. So how to stop this kind of ID and homograph attack? There is a setting in your browser which you can turn on, which says allow only English alphabets. Do not allow any other alphabets like Cyrillic, Greek, Latin American, etc. So you have to turn on that setting. So each time when any domain you get which consists of any different language alphabet, it will pop up that this is not all English alphabets, it is something else. So you will be you have to at that time be cautious and suspicious and then report that link as a phishing link. So this is very tricky. If you don't know, you might fall for this trick. So there are few scams that happened during COVID-19. We know that our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, have started a campaign wherein we take payments charity funds, donation, a lot of individuals, salaried one, business person, even so many individuals from their savings, they have come up to help and donate for the people who are below poverty line and who are in real need of our money. So they have started a UPI payment acceptance by the name PM Cares @SBI. So this attack, in this attack, what happens is we saw a lot of different UPIs by the name PM Cares @PNB, PM Cares @HDFC Bank, PM Care @Yes Bank, PM Care @YBL, and so on. So then it has been claimed by Economic Times and so many different media and reporting channels that everything other than PM Cares @SBI are fake. So a lot of money has been transferred to these fake IDs as well. So then when they tried tracing, so all these are the international accounts. They all took the money and then they are still in track. They are tracking and trying to figure out who are the criminals. But then all your money which are been sent to this UPIs are went into the wrong accounts. Okay, so there was one more, COVID-19 maps. Initially, when this was new and there was no information about how many COVID patients are there, where all they stay, what all places are hardly affected by COVID. So we used to keep on searching online about this thing, and this is how scammer took advantage of our searches. So what did they do? They create a mobile application named as COVID-19 map, and when you download this application, so you'll see a map with red dots saying that here are the people infected. So what happens in background? In background, the application was a malware. I hope we had a session yesterday on malware. You all have attended. So malware is something which harms your, this was basically a spyware which monitors all your activity, your camera, your microphone, all your photos, pictures, what all is there in your file explorer. So they used to access all your information when you download this application. So then this was been claimed by a lot of media channels, and news came in pictures saying that who all have downloaded this application, kindly remove it. The third message which was circulating all around was Geo and Facebook are giving 25 GB data daily for 6 months to all the Geo user due to lockdown of COVID-19. Download this app now. Again, this application is a spyware. We know in initial days Geo has given us free data for 3 months, and it has been great. We all were using it. So some of the criminals took advantage of that situation and try to connect it with this situation, and then they were circulating this message all around with the link of an application. Download this link, and when you download this link, again this will turn to a malware known as spyware, which will monitor all your activity and which will take your data. So what do they do with your personal data? They use it for they sell it on deep and dark web. Also they use it for data analytics, and then they do a lot of malicious stuff with your data. So here is a demonstration. This page looks very similar to Gmail sign-in page, but you can focus on the URL. This is obviously a Gmail, but then .srsecure.xyz is my own personal domain. So when you put your credential, your email address into this fake page, when you put your password into this fake page, and when you click on sign in, so I have written a code wherein this thing will take you to and drop you to the original google.com. you are now on real Google. And I am gonna get the logs of what all you have typed into the email box and into the password box like this. I am gonna get log the email which you typed, the password which you typed into the plain text format, and then when my phishing campaign is done, all the usernames and password who are been phished through my phishing page, I'll get all the logs over here with me, and then I can sell it on deep and dark web. So this is how the phishing campaign has been done, and then your data in the plain text is been saved with the attacker. Advanced phishing with domain spoofing is a real trouble. So I went on internet and I searched for top websites of India. So there were a list of top 10 websites which I came across, and out of which something I liked was passportindia.government.in. This is a website which I selected to perform my advanced phishing with domain spoofing attack. So I selected this website. There is a tool which we have made in Python, email check by Hacktify. This is a tool, so you just have to write a domain name. So I have written over here the domain name. I was checking for it, and then I find out there is a vulnerability in this website. That means there is a bug, there is some flaw into their server DNS configuration, so I can misuse it. So how did I did it? So I checked for it, and then I come to know, go ahead Shifa, spoofing is possible for Passport India. So I come to know out of that vulnerability that there is some flaw with them. So how did I exploited it? I have written a mail. This is a mail which I have sent to myself. They have not sent me. So the mail is from support@passportindia.government.in. Into my inbox, the srsecured@gmail.com. So this mail says, "Dear citizen, hope you are well and following the guidelines stated by Prime Minister of India to remain under quarantine and to avoid public gathering at every cost. We are mailing you to make you aware, if you hold a valid passport, then you have to fill a form 1A and follow the guidelines. If you do not hold the passport, you have to fill a form 1B with all your local and international travel history to avoid the spread of corona." And this kind of scenario we have created, and also added a signature so that it looks more authentic. So what happened in this case is, this mail is not at all sent by them. This is my mail. This is a fake mail which looks very authentic and genuine. So how does this happen? How can we use the same domain name? Because of this, there is something which they miss into their DNS configuration. If their servers are not properly configured, then we can misuse the vulnerability, and this kind of mails can be sent from anyone's email address. Let's say we will check for Saint Xavier's domain, and if we come to know there is a vulnerability and into the DNS server, so we can make misuse all the emails that are been generated by the same domain. So I can use principal@Saint Xavier's. I can use HOD@Saint Xavier's. So to spoof the people. I will not go much into technical, because these are DNS configuration, DMARC record, SPF record, DKIM record, which we have to take care of, and then you have to configure into the DNS mail servers. So how to avoid this phishing scams? So the first thing I would say is, control your emotions. Do not fall for everything at first. Analyze, alert, and avoid this kind of scams. The second is, verify the source. Make sure the spelling is correct, and the source, as I said, make sure that it is not any Cyrillic, Greek, or any other alphabet. It's all English alphabet. Also make sure that they are using HTTPS, not HTTP. Then only login. stay updated with latest attack vectors, read about it and get rid of all these attacks. Keep yourself updated with the news, what all crimes are happening all around. Keep your browsers updated, because some like me and our team, like when we come across any link which we find is suspicious, we quickly report it. And when you keep your browsers updated, you'll come to know that okay, this is a suspicious link, you should not click on that link. So this is how you'll come to know that there is something fishy over there. So you have to keep your browsers all time updated. Be aware of this kind of fake pop-ups. These are always fake, and this will make you download some malwares. So here I have first question. This is a quiz. So what are the scams that happened in COVID-19? How will you protect against them? So I would like any one of you to answer or raise hand as sir instructed earlier.
PM cares.
Okay. Yeah, so there was a scam which
In general, it was about COVID-19 Prime Minister's fund collections, and another
yes,
one finding highly affected COVID corona areas and all that.
maps.
And
Yes.
map, and we got to be very careful with the exact URL, I think, when we look into this.
Yeah, so we have talked about the fake UPIs which were been made for the COVID-19 to accept donation. We have talked about the COVID-19 maps which shows you where all infected peoples are. And third was the fake data message claimed by Geo and Facebook tie-up. So this was the three things which I discussed. Thank you so much, and you were right. The second question is, what are the types of social engineering attacks that we covered today? Anyone?
Wishing, smashing, wailing.
Shoulder surfing.
Yes.
IDN.
IDN. Shoulder surfing and then dumpster diving, phishing are the types of social engineering attack. And then in phishing, we have different, which someone said, wishing, wailing, etc. So the full form of IDN homograph attack. What was the full form of IDN in this homograph attack?
International domain.
Excellent. So yes, it is internationalized domain names. Then how to avoid phishing attacks? See, there is no proper answer to this, but then I have covered few slides wherein how to prevent yourself from phishing attacks. So if you can remember any one of those, so you can answer.
Mainly this deals with the URL or the looking into the correct website and avoiding that not English words maybe.
Right. So first of all, avoiding the non-English characters. Then I have talked about keeping yourself updated by latest news vectors. Then I have talked about reading news, as I said. Then keeping your browsers updated. Do not fall for fake pop-ups which comes all the time while you are surfing. Download this to clean the application. Malware found or virus found. Sometimes it starts vibrating as well, and a pop-up comes up and says click here to clean your to clean the virus, and then it takes you to some cleaner and make you and force you to download that cleaner, which are all fake. So you do not have to fall for it. This is how you protect yourself. And then the last question is, what are your key takeaways from this session? So there is also not proper answer to this, but then how this session will help you, how will you like take this ahead?
One very important thing that I learned is that non-English characters can take in the form of a normal website, and this was a very big information for me.
Thank you. And for others? Okay, so with this, I would like to end this, and then what all questions you have, please post it in a chat box so that I can answer. I am sure there will be many, because this is a topic like which always have a lot of doubts and queries.
Ma'am, I have one question.
Ma'am, can you please tell me
Yeah.
how to identify this non-alphabet characters? How to switch it on in a browser? Is
Browser,
it
okay.
available? Yes, ma'am, please.
There are steps. I will be sharing it once we end this session with HOD ma'am. So she'll be forwarding a link. Will do. So you can do the same steps to turn it on.
Thank you.
Yeah. The other question was always be alert. Yes. Yeah.
So I was about to ask the same question the previous
How
person
to
asked,
turn it
how to
on?
enable
Okay.
option. Yes, in
It's
the
there in
browser.
setting.
Any
Yeah. So
browsers.
I'll
Okay.
send for different browser. There's a different process. So I'll send for Mozilla and Chrome mostly, so that you can go ahead and turn it on.
Thanks. That will be helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Hello, ma'am. Can we get this session recording link?
Uh, I'll just recording links. Yes, I guess they have already sent the yesterday's session.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
No,
you,
no.
yeah,
We,
yeah. Every day is yeah recordings we are publishing on the YouTube as well as in our college website also. There is a link is there. You can see that video also recorded video.
Ma'am, I have one more question.
yeah.
When we as you said, we cannot assume which website is fake or good.
Hello.
Is there any link? Yesterday, the hello, is it audible? Hello,
Now it's audible. Can
hello.
you repeat, please? Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's
Yes. Yeah. Yesterday, the host updated us. There is a website called Sandboxy, so where we can run the software down in an isolated environment. Like the same, do we have any link where we can paste the new website and then analyze whether it is correct, fake or not, and then we utilize it? Is there any way to check it before we use it?
there is like the best is the manual way, but as in that sandbox you can open this browser as well. You can right click on your browser and open it into the sandbox, so all the browser information, all the different stuff that you are opening into the browser again will be opened into a virtual environment, and it will not affect your host OS. So this way, using the same tool, you can get the things done.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Do we have any other question?
Ma'am, one question from chat box.
Yeah.
I think this one. Any specific tool or software for identifying that this is an attack?
Okay, I guess Rohit has already answered. There is like no tool. The best is the manual way you keep yourself updated, and this is how you can prevent yourself, because each time they come up with a new idea, and the tools which are made, that comes with a limitation. So I will not tell you or force you to blindly depend on any tool, because each time the way is different. So you have to keep searching and keep reading about these things, so that to maximally prevent yourself. And for the tool, we have this sandbox virus total, where you can go and check if someone has clicked on the link as suspicious or something, or you, the best way is to use virtual environments all the time.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Then one more question. Some FTP webinar registration forms are from HTTP only. Is it safe?
uh, Okay, so I have not checked your HTTP, but then it's not always like the HTTP thing is not safe. It's only that it is not going through a secured tunnel. When you are entering or authenticating or giving your more important data, at that time I force you to look for this HTTPS for registration form. It's okay, but then it's a best practice to always install a certificate to the one who created this form. This is a suggestion. You can add the certificates for free. There is no high-end cost to pay for this HTTPS. So it's always advisable to go for HTTPS and install SSL and TLS certificates.
Okay. So participants, if you have any questions, please raise. Yeah.
Ma'am, Hacktify is your website or?
Yeah, that's our website. Hacktify.in.
Participants, if you have any doubt, you can unmute your mic and you can ask the question, or you
Yes,
can
yes.
just type your question on the chat box.
Ma'am, that Palocha was just one of the font or
Yeah,
can you
that was
say something more about it?
that is a whole Cyrillic alphabets, like we have English alphabets. So out of which I have selected one character that the named was Palochka. That the same way we have A, B, C, D. So the same way they have the names like Palochka, Shah, etc. So that was only one alphabet of whole Cyrillic characters.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Uh, yes. I guess we do not have how to avoid whaling is the question. So whaling is something see, when you are in a position when you have more number of access, so you there are more prone that there are more chances that hackers might target you. So keep your environment separate, like your personal environment, your professional environment. Do not take your personal or professional sensitive information to your home and then use it from your home or try to access it. So this is how you do the separate things for your personal passwords and the professional one, so that with your personal mistake you cannot harm the whole organization. There is no proper answer for this whaling thing as well, but then this happens. You have to be very much aware and read more and more about it, so that you can do the manual analysis and you'll come to know about this phishing attacks.
Participants, if you have any question, please type the
Yeah.
questions on the chat box, or you can unmute your mic and you can ask the question. And today's feedback link I have shared, so please fill the feedback.
So now I will like to share that in organizations where we work and how they try to keep their employees safe and secure. So they run phishing campaigns. So in that phishing campaigns, we professionals, like what we do, we have tools. We create fake pages and then we send that fake mails to all the employees present in the organization. And organization pays us for that. So why do they do that? They wanted to check how many of them employees are still vulnerable and are not aware about this phishing things and are still ready to give their sensitive information. So once the campaign has been done, we share the whole analytics with them, that out of 100%, 18 or 19 or 20% clicked on our link. Out of them, 20 or 30 people have managed to put their credentials and OTP into this fake campaign. So this is how we make the whole analysis and give to the organization. And to those 10, 20, 30 employees who have done or fault for this phishing, they cut their salaries, or then they take different sessions for them, so that they can be aware. Because any computer in the network is vulnerable, then the whole network can be infected with that one mistake. So this is how now organization is taking phishing very seriously, and we are doing such campaigns for different organizations so that to secure them from these kind of attacks. Yes, so feedback links are there. So give feedback, and then we'll connect again tomorrow with some new practicals and new information. Tomorrow's session will be taken by Jerry on password cracking. So, uh, and then if anything, not now or maybe afterwards, if you have any doubt, you can message to HOD ma'am. She'll be forwarding that to us and we'll be clearing your answers. And I'll make sure to send the process how to turn it on your browser, the Cyrillic and the different alphabet thing.
Okay.
With
Thank
this,
you,
I'll
madam.
end
Thank you
this.
for the
Yeah.
wonderful and detailed presentation, madam.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank,
Bye. Take care.
thank you, Shifa ma'am. It's a nice presentation.
Thank you.
Participants, please fill up the feedback form.
Bright sir, you can stop the recording.
Column 4, 5.